Hey everybody, this is a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, and today we are picking up where we left off in Wizardry Tale of the Forsaken Land here for the PS2. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing okay. We're here for our usual Sunday morning stream, and I stress usual because trying to get things lined up over the holidays was a pain, but here we are, getting back into this game that again will be turning 20 years old this year. Last time out, we rolled up our character. We went with an elven sorcerer with the intent to turn them into a bishop. And then we met a mysterious swordsman entering the town of Duhan. He invited us to the inn. We took a little trip over instead to the Adventurers Guild to find out that the bishop class we were hoping to just lock into is a bit out of our reach at the moment. We need to up our stats a bit, and we need to go ahead and level up to 5 at least. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and load up the game before it tries going through. There you see Agog level 1, no party rank yet because we don't have a party, and 1 save. It actually loads about that quick on hardware too. So it always starts you off looking at the labyrinth there. Gonna skip the shop for now. Lodgings. Temple. Save. Guild. The bar. We were supposed to go to the inn and meet the swordsman last time. Let's say we do that now. Go ahead, walk into the bar. Luna Light. See, it's just packed with people. Swordsman here says, "The people here shall welcome your presence." Since their loss is in the flash, this place is flooded with people who are searching for what they have lost. It will be a challenging task because some are looking for their dreams and some are looking for their loved ones. But in any case, there are precious memories to each one of them. They have not been able to retrieve those things after the flash. It shall be your duty to fulfill their quests. So now you get the gist of it. Everyone here has a quest or something, and we're going to try our best to complete them all. This is basically the hub for our quests. The little text box up in the corner says, well, what'll it be? Why don't you just relax and have a drink? Here we have a little list of options. We have party, quest list, and of course exit, but that does us no good right now. So we go to party. Could check out our items. Right now we've got a healing staff, a robe, and a throwing knife. So the healing staff can be used as a melee weapon, but it's not very effective. Raises your wisdom stat and heals wounds during battle. So that's a magic item. You could use it during battle. It has an effect. Every time you use it for that effect, there's a chance it could break. The robe, real simple, loose robe that covers the whole body, very weak and ineffective as armor. Throwing knife would drop our wisdom down a pile, also take our offense down a good bit, but it could be used from the back row. It's a weapon able to be thrown by the back row, inflicts small damage, but easy to use. Important to note, because we're not going to be a frontline fighter. So at this moment, we're probably going to go ahead and equip the throwing knife, at least for now. If you look at our spells list, pull up Agog. We're a sorcerer, so we have a sorcerer spell, and it's Credo, which inflicts flame damage to one enemy. So it's a small fire spell. We get one of them per use till we rest up. So having that dagger is going to help us. View the party. That's us. We're a good sorcerer. Our personality says intellect comes from believing in spells and likes to master them. That's good to know. There you can pull up a full spell list. There's sorcerer spells. There's priest spells. We're going to eventually get both. Go ahead, exit there. The next three items, the Allied Action Confirmation, Quest Confirmation, and Altering the Formation, really only come in when we have other people in our party. You can see here there's a trap practice section. If you watched any of my .hack GU streams, or if you're familiar with that game series at all, the trap chests and doors in that game have a button sequence that is the exact same as this game had here. Let me go ahead and pull up one for trap practice. Let me specify by saying that the trap practice is harder than most of the traps you'll find in the first few levels of the dungeon. Practice disarming traps? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Why not? Yeah, I was a little slow on that one. Let's try it again. And there you go. So we're going to exit out of this screen and check out the quest list, huh? And you get a little book here. You get 6 pages of paper. We've got 2 quests there, one from a Keo and one from a Ricardo. And then there's no other entries in the book so far. These will be filled in as we go. So the first 2 quests are Keo and Ricardo. Let's go ahead and talk to Keo first. Well, let's see if we could spot them first. Taking a look, I could tell you on the far left of the screen, there's that fighter there. Right behind the exit button. That's Ricardo. That maybe... I can't really see where Keo is anywhere in here. Like, I'm sure he's somewhere in there because that's the gist of the thing. Kind of a neat effect, too. You could hear people talking in the background. You got the music going. It's a really busy scene here in the inn. So let's go to the quest list. Let's talk to Keo. Client Keo, I've lost my pride as a ninja ever since I was faced with death. Will you help me conquer this fear so that I can stand tall in battle? Well, that's a simple enough request. He's looking to get his confidence back. We're looking for, basically people to hold the front line for us in our new party. This sounds like a perfect match. Says a ninja quickly pushed his way through the crowd and approached you. The swordsman said that you were recruiting people for your party. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like he may be positioned right in back of Ricardo there. If that is true, would you mind taking me to the labyrinth? He was polite, but under his hood was a sharp look in his eyes. Not really seeing a sharp look from that art. Don't know about you. Kinda looks more sad than sharp. He introduced himself as Keo Hattori. We ninjas have grown up to live a different life than most people. We've trained our bodies and minds throughout our lives to defeat one enemy. That enemy is fear. Fear changes people. Good to know. I thought I had already accomplished that task. There should be no ninja who's frightened of fear. But I guess I never really met my true enemy. Keo stopped talking. Yeah, I just kind of want to take this moment to point out just color palette here. It's kind of softer. It's just gorgeous, though. I always loved the art in this game. Although he did not show it in his expression, his subconscious brought back a dark recollection. I was no doubt a warrior until death appeared before me. I was laying on the ground quietly awaiting death. My body was turning cold and darkness was nearing me. There was no feeling of ease, just darkness. It was the darkness of death that seemed to swallow everything. I feared for the first time in my life. If only my body moved. Yeah, this took a bit of a turn, didn't it, folks? When I was miraculously rescued, I was no longer a warrior. I had turned into a coward. Okay, so the guy froze in battle and now he's beating himself up over it. I lost everything instantly. He again stops talking for a moment. His reluctance kept his mouth tightly sealed. Please, help me regain my pride as a ninja, the pride that I have lost. I just need another chance. I've never been much help to anyone, but I'm willing to do anything for that chance. Kyo has joined our party. Here we got our helpful little sprite friend to tell us a brief tip on his personality. Kyo Otori has a strong sense of justice. He would be a dreaded opponent to anyone who goes against him. He also has the composure to be kind to those who are not hostile. So if you battle monsters that are friendly, you will be hurting him. That's an important thing to note. Not everything you're going to find in the dungeon is going to be hostile. Actually led to one of my favorite little gaming tropes early on. The older Wizardry games, you'd encounter a pack of skeletons and it would say a group of friendly undead. Just always worth a laugh to me. Like you come up on a zombie and he offers you some brains instead of just mindlessly trying to attack. Coming up to Client Ricardo, says, help me believe that trust, in quotes, is an integral part of an adventure. I know it's an odd request, but it's important to me. Well, if it's important to him, it's important to me. So we'll accept the quest. So you've accepted my quest. This time it's in blue font. I don't know why. A warrior approached you. He started speaking without introducing himself. I want to know if trust is actually useful in an adventure. Not really sure much of what he has is useful in an adventure. He's got a little dagger there. Armor's sort of lacking. In fact, he's not really wearing pants. I know it's an odd quest, but it's important to me. Yeah, we covered that. His name is Ricardo Dorfus. That's what I'm going with. He mentioned that he has been as far down the labyrinth as the 3rd floor. So a little bit of experience behind this guy. I used to be in another team before. That's where I learned that people work individually after all. They wouldn't help you if you screwed up. If you lost your life, they would probably just say that you didn't have enough ability. Ricardo looked uncertain. He continued to talk with a wry grin. It was on this one mission. One of our party members was caught by a monster. I hurried to help him. He was one of the guys I got to know pretty well. I couldn't just let the darn beast eat my friend. Honorable. The guy lived, but... Ricardo stopped talking and smiled weakly. My careless actions caused the failure of our mission, so I was let go. Team leader told me that trust ain't worth shit. But I don't think so. That swordsman said that you are different. So I have a favor to ask you. Show me if trust is really useful in battle. If you are the kind of leader I've been looking for, I'm willing to sacrifice anything. Okay, so Ricardo and Kyo are now in our party. Gonna get a little tip on Ricardo's personality. He's full of kindness. He values camaraderie more than the thrills from an adventure or battle. You'll lose his trust if you act in a way that values your selfishness more than your comrade's life. So we've got a pin in both of those quests, which means there are active quests for us until we solve them. Now we could go back into the party. Got our quest confirmation there, and you could have up to 3 quests active at a time. See them there. Now we can alter our formation. I'm going to go ahead and just slide myself to the back there. You can see the arrows up, meaning that unless I put someone in front of me, I'm going to move up to the front row. So Ricardo goes here and Keo goes in top left. That formation will work for now. Again, if you look at the items list, Keo's got a dagger and some leather armor. Ricardo has a longsword and chest plate. So they're both prepared for melee action. Ninjas, as they level up, are able to hit multiple times, and they have a critical hit ability. They have a death strike. Also, you'll see Keo has a transfer potion on him, which allows him to warp out of the dungeon. It's a single-use consumable. And Ricardo's got 2 basic healing potions on him. I've got the healing staff, so we're fairly well equipped, I guess. Their offensive attacks are just so much higher. 10 for Keo, 16 for Ricardo, and we're sitting on 4. Even with the staff, it was 6. So back row is the place to be for us. Let's go ahead, exit. Let's make our first foray to the dungeon, shall we? The Labyrinth of Duhan. Take our walk in. That loaded quick. Guardian Orc. Master, they's here. Uno, dos, tres. There be 3 of them. And here's our buddy the swordsman, who's apparently palling around with this orc. Says, so you finally come with the ones you've met. 3 is a mystical and superior number. Since ancient times, it has signified a new beginning. Even if each of you is powerless, you will be able to overcome many difficulties with a combined effort. But you will need trust for that. Without trust, even the strong won't stand a chance to live. Tying very directly into Ricardo's quest there. It is not something that you could develop overnight. Only time and hardships together can create trust among you. Now, the swordsman stopped talking. Whole lot of stop and start conversations here. He looked fixed at your party with his piercing blue eyes as if he was trying to search for something. All right, the labyrinth is ready for you. I'll be waiting ahead inside. Don't you dare die before you reach me. That's nice of him to say. I mean, nicer than the first conversation. Equally weird. Orc laughs and says, I's casta. I's be waiting too. I see you later. Now we get a little bit of party chat with Keo and Ricardo. Ricardo says, what a strange guy. There shouldn't be any qualifications needed to get inside the labyrinth. We'll find out that's not quite true either, especially since the Queen is encouraging people to go there. In any case, he doesn't seem like a bad fella. May turn out to be fun after all. Keo says, you may be right, but we need to build a good reputation first. Once we have a good reputation, others will want to join us. Again, basically, spelling out for you how the game works. And then that should help us more with our adventure. Ricardo says there's no need to rush things now. Besides, there's some truth in what he said. We're going to have to enter the labyrinth anyway. Why don't we just hear him out for a while? Kyo says, sure, I guess we could. Okay, let's get going. Actually, let's take a pause here. Just kind of stretch the legs a bit. Familiar setup if you're looking at any RPG of this time. This is a first-person view. We've got our mini-map in the upper right corner. Got a stamina bar for when we run. You could hold in the circle button and press a direction to run. That will be important later. Direction pad controls movement. Could also turn. Analog stick lets you peek around corners. Not really a useful mechanic, but kind of a neat one. And you could also use the shoulder buttons to strafe, to sidestep. So we're going to walk up here, and we've got ourselves a battle. Okay, so the party is 4 orcs and a fairy, and it says the monsters are friendly. Certainly have no need to pick a fight with them, so we're just going to go ahead and leave. We get no experience, get no gold, but also don't get our tails kicked. Come upon some more blue text that says, damn it, that damn hobbit. Shit, I'm gonna strangle him. The profanity in this game ramped up in a hurry, didn't it? This ain't no sword that can kill anything, it's just a plain sword. Kobolds are shouting at each other in the distance. What are we gonna do? We used all her money. Miss Virgo is gonna kill us. Well, that sounds bad for them. The kobolds are approaching you. What are you looking at? Out of my way, or else we'll eat you for breakfast. Oh, I got it. Let's get money from these guys. Ah, you're a genius. The kobolds have attacked you. Friendly fellas. Twins from the look of it. So let's go ahead through. Attack one kobold, attack the other kobold. Let's save our spell for now. Let's just back up with a throwing knife attack. Kobold deals 4 damage to Ricardo. Our fighters carry the day. 1 shot apiece to the kobolds and they are down. We get just enough experience to level up and 20 gold. Coming up on another cutscene here. Kobold says, damn, we'll remember this. Next time we meet, you're not leaving alive. Aha. Kobolds ran off with their tails between their legs. And here's our friend the tutorial sprite again to tell us a brief lesson on leveling up. Again, important if you've never played these games before. When you reach the required experience, the status panel on the bottom of the screen will illuminate. So your little character box will be glowing. When your panel illuminates, try staying at the lodge. After you stay at the lodge, you should be able to notice that your characters have leveled up. It'll go through a little level up screen, So yeah, there you go. You can see when we're sort of idling here, the boxes will briefly flash with light like that. Let's go ahead and flush this out a little bit. Every square we step on, the map gets a little more fleshed out. Head in and we're met by some slimes. Just sort of crawling their way by the door. And, yeah, let's go ahead and attack. I really don't want to waste that spell too soon. Okay, so that was easily enough dealt with. Slimes are kind of the easiest monster in the game. We once again pick up 80 experience, this time 48 gold. I kind of like sidestepping so we aren't opening ourselves to too big an ambush here. Gotta be careful with monsters in the labyrinth. Their logic will change at the drop of a hat. Now you saw a door over here. Let's check that out real quick. It's apparently locked from the other side. Once again, come upon 4 slimes. They're not friendly, so we won't be either. Ooh, they get first strike. Hey, we get our first hit. Again, remember, we have enough experience to hit level 2, we just haven't gone back to the lodgings yet, so. 80 more experience and 48 gold. Could see a treasure chest up there, and it's got little flecks of light coming off of it. Let's go ahead and check it out. This one is blue, says open the chest. Yeah, let's go ahead and open it. We'll have Keo do it. Inside there's a transfer potion. Cool, so we have 2 transfer potions. Generally, you don't find yourself buying too many of those, just adventuring in the dungeon. You'll find more than enough treasure chests with the potions in them. Ambient sounds in this dungeon are just incredible, and the music makes a great accent. Another door. Let's head in. It says the instant you entered, there was something different about the room. Several boxes were aligned neatly to form a desk, and carpet was rolled out as to welcome guests. The room contained a scent of liveliness, something that did not exist in the labyrinth. Okay, so you could see sort of patchwork carpeting down here. Could see the room's green as we're sort of exploring it. Green rooms are safe zones. There's no monster encounters going on here. Let's check out this desk. Says there's a wooden box. There's a wooden box. So not too much to check out in this room in particular at the moment, but it is good to know there's a little safe space there. Could hear some sounds, some movement on the other side of the door, so we'll just let that go by a little bit before continuing on our happy way. And again, taking time to really flesh the map out before we go too much further. Kiev stops us and says, sorry, but can you wait a moment? Yeah, okay, we can wait a moment. I'm ashamed to say, but my legs won't stop shaking. I almost lost my life just up ahead. I know it's all in the past, but I still can't seem to forget that fear. Keo is terrified. What will you do? Encourage him, scold him, or ignore him? Well, we're good guys, and Keo seems like a good enough guy, so let's go ahead and encourage him, huh? Sorry to cause unnecessary worry. Ricardo says, don't worry about it. We're a team. Ricardo says, hey, Agog, don't you think we should go where Keo almost died? If you keep avoiding that place, you'll never be able to recover from your fear of the past. So, Keo, where is that place? If we go straight ahead, there should be an altar in a snowy area. In front of the altar is where I was laying. Got it. Snowy altar, right? Then what are we waiting for? Well, just to be on the safe side, we're going to go head back and, rest up and level up before we go check out the snowy altar. Use that circle button to get a little running in there. Okay, so they left us pretty well alone. And then we get attacked coming through the door. But it's the slimes again. So we'll just take our shots at the bubbly slime here. This is just one of these better safe than sorry moments. Results of the battle are in. Another 80 and 48. This time they drop a treasure chest. We'll let Keo open it again. And out of the chest we get a feel stone. Okay. Feel stone's important because it's a level 1 priest spell. Now we're going to need that later, so we're just going to go ahead and hand it over to ourselves so it's not eating up, Keo's inventory. Taking the long way back because really we haven't gone in that far. Return to town? Sure. Takes us right to the lodgings, and that's where we want to go in. Innkeeper says, take care. There's a priestess there, says, haven't seen you before. Are you in town to look for the secret treasures of the labyrinth? I have an interest in the labyrinth, or I don't have a reason. Well, safe to say I have an interest in the labyrinth at this point. After the flash, many adventurers have been attracted to the labyrinth. I heard there were secret treasures hidden deep inside. There's a rumor that whoever will be able to get those treasures will be granted any wish. If the Queen is encouraging people to the labyrinth for her own greed, I'd be very disappointed. So as lawful as the day is long here. Many adventurers have lost their lives searching that labyrinth. The priestess looked uncertain. She was dissatisfied with the Queen's scheme. I don't think the treasures are worth anybody's life. If it gets too dangerous in the labyrinth, I would recommend coming back to rest. Sleep will prevent you from getting ill. It's the best way to heal your body. Okay, we're now getting a little mini health seminar. Sleep will also help you develop attributes. A famous sorcerer once said we develop while we sleep because we meet with God in our dreams. She sure does love to talk, doesn't she? So you need to value life. If you die, you'll never be able to reach your goal. Well, that's done. Says you could rest your body and soul and attain new abilities. Innkeeper says they see someone who's ready to level up. Let's go ahead and stay. 150 gold altogether, no problem. Okay. See, we got to level 2 with Keo. Hit points raised by 6. Everything went up there, so that is definitely a bonus. Ricardo almost up to 30 hit points, already at 27 in just level 2. We get to level 2 as well, and lining ourselves up great for that transfer to Bishop here in a bit. And we get a second spell use before resting. So we are all done there. Nothing else really to do, so let's go back in. Let's get Keo's quest done at the very least. Another treasure chest right ahead, so we're going to go ahead and pick that sucker up. Maybe another transfer potion. There we go. So next time we get to leave, we don't have to do that whole boring walk around. Okay, those guys were really in a hurry to meet us. Here we get 2 orcs and 2 bubbly slimes. Now we know the slimes aren't much of a threat, so let's go ahead and focus on the orcs. You could already see Keo's attack. Few points better. Ricardo hits with a critical. That orc just didn't stand a chance. Now the slimes are even hitting Keo for less. Even on a critical hit, they're only doing 1 damage. See how the screen went all inverted there on colors? That was a critical hit by a ninja. That's the death strike. We got 93 experience for that, and we pick up 34 gold. So we're whittling away that experience total real quick now. Anytime I see the monsters turn red, that means they're about to start running, and that's usually when I freeze and try and get my back to a wall. If they do attack you from behind, your rows get inverted and they get a surprise attack. So just food for thought on this. Your positioning actually does matter when you encounter the monster mobs. The orcs we saw, they're not the biggest threat in the world either, but they do pay out a little better than bubbly slimes or kobolds. First attack misses Keo, second attack hits for 2, and then the third orc remaining hits Ricardo for 1. Now we're down to 3 on 2 in our favor. Keo's kind of getting dinged up here. 106 experience. Good chunk there. As you can see, Ricardo's experience being a fighter much lower than, Keo being a ninja, or even myself as a sorcerer. So there we get a slime, and we get some slimes and a toad. Gonna focus on the giant toad there, and I tell you what, let's go ahead and attack a bubbly slime. Again, I want to save those spells in case we run into anything later. You saw Keo's hitting twice against anything that's got those hit points. Wow, that was a chunk of damage, wasn't it? So Keo's in pretty rough shape there. Let's use our healing staff on Keo. Okay, we got rid of the toad. That's the important thing. Ricardo takes out a slime. And there you see we used our healing staff and got Keo back up to full health. Now the slimes from the back row move forward because the toad and other slime are no longer blocking it. And now we get some paint by numbers battle. Love that Death Strike. As I would say with Rengeki finishes in the GU streams, finish with a flourish. Almost get 200 experience out of that, 190 and 93 gold. Well, one thing's for certain, gonna profit off of this run. And a treasure chest. Let's let Ricardo open this. Keo's inventory is getting a little full. He picks up a slime's goo and a frog tongue. So those are spell components. They could be combined to make those magic stones like the field stone we found earlier. Slime's goo was given to Keo, as was the frog tongue. That's right, it automatically goes to the first person in the party with open inventory space. My bad on that. Okay, here we run into another party of 2 orcs and 2 slimes. We know the drill. Easy peasy lemon squeezy on that. And we're getting close to a Ricardo level up. Now we've got a little bit of a walkway here. It's got path to the right. Let's just walk into these guys. This time the slimes are on the left and the orcs are on the right. A little bit of a variance in the pattern. No variance in how we approach it. Okay, so that's 93 more experience in the bank, as well as 34 gold. Then this path to the left here. Got an inscription on the wall. Something engraved in, looks like writing. This is what it says. To go to town easily, use a transfer potion. You'll be there instantly. This tip is brought to you by the mighty warrior Odin. You'll find a lot of sentences to help you out from the mighty warrior Odin in this, so just be on the lookout for it. Got a door there. Neither of those are what we're really looking for, because we're here to help our buddy Keo out, and his path is dead ahead. As apparently is that little humanoid figure who ran ahead and through the door. So here we find ourselves in a very open sort of area. And we find a yellow chest. Yellow chests, I believe, are locked. You typically want a rogue or thief type character in your party for this. Ninja's the best we got for now, so Keo's gonna open. It's locked. Will you unlock it? Sure. Nice simple one. See, we only had a couple seconds to do that. Inside there's an axe. It was given to Keo. Right now we can't identify it. We'll have to take it to the item shop to be identified. When we get our character Agog up to being a full-fledged bishop, we will be able to identify things. Now you could see the monsters have attacked us from behind, and that is very dangerous for us. Fortunately, they all decided to attack Ricardo. So Kyo's going to attack there. We're going to swap places with Ricardo. Yeah, not how we wanted this battle to go. We do recover easily enough, though. And that gives us enough to get Ricardo to the next level. So again, if you're not careful, you can get ambushed. Let's go ahead and just take these orcs head on. Okay, so one runs away. We're okay with that. We're not going to get the experience for the one that ran away, but we're also not going to have to deal with it. Oh, another nice thing about a throwing weapon. You can attack the back row, guys. (106) experience, so we've almost leveled, and Kyo himself is down under 200. Pick up another treasure chest. Let's go ahead and open that. And we get a broken sword, another spell component. Okay. So this should be more slimes. Oh, and our buddy Mr. Toad. Now we've already established the Toad's a bit of a pain. So we're going to attack the Toad, have Ricardo attack a slime, and we're going to cast. We're going to cast some fire on the Toad, see if we can't just finish it in one shot here. See our spell taking effect. 50 damage, and he is down. Saving it for the perfect occasion, and there it was. Well, look at that. We all ended up leveling, so we'll all be level 3 when we get back. Pick up another frog tongue. Another treasure chest over here, the locked variety. Inside we find a shield. Okay, so we found a shield and an axe. Ricardo's going to be in real good shape when we finally get those identified. As you can tell, I'm going out of my way to get as much of this sort of explored before we get to the... Okay, so this is the altar. This is the spot where Kyo had to confront his own mortality. It's right here. I was laying by the altar. Kyo walked slowly towards the altar, gazed at the cracked and worn altar. Kyo's whispers were audible. I was frightened as the cold and fatigue numbed my senses, one by one. The sharp claws of death held me firmly as it tried to pull me into the darkness. This would have made some great Halloween reading, I'm not gonna lie. I struggled. I desperately pursued the light in order to fend off the darkness. I tried to recall the bright memories I felt in life, but I had nothing. I was always alone in my memories. Not even a memory of a friend filling my mind with nostalgia, nor a loved one who warms my heart just by the thought of her. No, I had nothing. The only thoughts that existed were of despair and regret. Keo lightly brushed the snow off the surface and walked back. Since then, I've been plagued with nightmares. I thought if I returned to this damned place, my fear would return to haunt me, but in reality, it hasn't. All I see is a chunk of stone. Maybe I was wrong. Death cannot be overcome. It is a fate no one can escape. Then trying to fight death may just be useless. Mr. Brightside here, for darkness is always buried within my heart. I'm afraid I have wasted your time. Don't really know what to say about that. I mean, kind of a bummer, really, but he has at least confronted his fear. Now let's go down here, and if you remember, I pointed out that path to the right. I believe that'll take us to Ricardo's quest. Before we do that, let's go ahead and let's burn one of those healing potions. Gonna use it on Keo. You know what, let's use the other one on Ricardo here. So we're all healed up, we're ready to go, and I've still got one fire spell in reserve. So we'll go inside the room. This very much not a safe room. But you can see that little pile of stuff there in the middle of the back wall. In fact, it's a skeleton. Very clearly a skeleton when you look at it. Let's walk up to it and investigate. It says there's a skeleton on the ground. Get some laughter behind us. You people have fallen for my bait. Oh boy, get a couple thieves. Monsters have suddenly hit you. This isn't good. Got lucky, a miss there, and a miss there. Okay. So we're going to have Keo and Ricardo focus on that rogue, and we are definitely going to cast fire on the other. Another miss. Okay, we lucked out there. A couple humanoid enemies had set up an ambush, but we managed to get through them. 80 experience and 44 gold. There's a small shield under the corpse. I'm assuming we're turning back to the skeleton now. Will we take it? Yeah, sure, let's give it a look. It says you got a small steel shield. The name of the person it belonged to was engraved in the shield. Scott Bain, the Wolf of Gascogne. Those thieves must have killed him. He decomposed quickly. Ricardo says, "Hold on, can I take a look at that shield?" Ricardo held the shield and gazed at the engraved name. Ricardo approached the dead body and crouched down. He examined the body to look for something. I thought so. The dead body, he was the leader of the team I used to be with. I had no idea he was dead. He wasn't somebody who would get killed easily by thieves. That's sad that he doesn't even have someone to claim his body, especially when it's this close to town. What a pity. I really wanted to confront him because he was the one who kicked me out. But it's strange how nothing will come out of my mouth now that he's right in front of me. Damn. I wanted to teach him a lesson one of these days. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to get you guys involved. Okay, so they both sort of confront their pasts there. Let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and equip that shield. Give him a little bit of a leg up there. So we've done those three things. Normally we're close enough to town that I would walk, but we're coming up pretty close to an hour now, so I think I'll just transfer potion back. When you use it, return to town, and instantly we're taken right back to the lodgings. Let's go ahead, rest up, level up, and save. See, made a handsome profit there. Someone indeed is ready to level up, the whole party. 150 gold, not a problem. Kyo up to level 3. Ricardo as well. And ourselves. We now have access to level 2 spells, and we can cast that fire 3 times, as you can see, comes in handy. Really bailed us out in that fight with the toad there. Ricardo's almost level 4 now that we're looking at it. Go back to town, find ourselves the data save, and we'll just go ahead and save up here. Probably do an upload sometime during the week where we hit the shop, go over creation of spells, sell off some items, meet more of the town's colorful cast of characters, and maybe do a bit more adventure. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. I want to thank you as always for checking the channel out. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. We will catch you in the next.